Hi everybody, welcome once again to a Fraser Public Library activity tutorial. So this is an activity mostly for my teens, but anybody can really tackle this subject. Today we are going to create a bullet journal. Now, what is a bullet journal? A bullet journal was created by a gentleman named Ryder Carroll, and it was a way for him to organize his thoughts, organize all of the tasks that he needed to do so that he could stay on top of everything in his work and his personal life without missing a beat. All right, so what does a bullet journal actually look like? Well, it can look like pretty much anything. I've got a few examples actually out right now, so these are ones that I've used before. A bullet journal can be any size. It can be tiny if you want, or it can be a larger size as well. I personally like bullet journals that have dots on the inside. So I don't know if you can see the dots. Oh, maybe a little, rather than lines. I also like one that has a strap. This way my bullet journal doesn't come completely undone while I'm traveling or have different things. I like bullet journals that are a little bit larger too. Now, what does the setup for a bullet journal look like? Well, you can get a specialty journal if you want. Mostly, I just get a journal that is completely blank with dots. Completely blank with dots, okay? That's what all of these are to begin with, completely blank with dots. Now, in my bullet journals, what I do is I set them up in different ways, okay? So a very simplistic way to set up a bullet journal, and let's go over supplies, because really all you need is a journal. Any way you want to do it. It can be a specialty journal. It could be one with lines. It could be one with dots, however you want to do this. You're going to need a ruler, okay? This is only if you truly want to get specific with how you're laying out your bullet journal. You're going to need pens or a pencil. You might need scissors. You might also want to decorate your bullet journal in other ways. I actually have with me washi tape. So this is a paper-based tape that you can put on the inside of your bullet journal, and I'll show you what that looks like. I've also got stickers, because I personally love stickers. I'm a small child at heart. So I've got stickers. I've got stickers pertaining specifically to months so that I can lay out my months in a specific way. So this would be a February sheet of stickers. You do not have to get this complicated. I did because I wanted to, but you don't have to. Now, the nice thing about a bullet journal is it's personalized. You can make it any way you want to. You can put whatever you want to in it. So if there is something specifically you're working on, a goal you want to reach, you can make an entire page devoted to it. I am a huge dork. This should not surprise anybody who has watched me do tutorials or anything who has met me. I am a huge dork. I actually really love fountain pens, okay? And I have different inks I can put in my fountain pens. In my journals, I actually have specific pages where I can write out what pen has what ink and try out the different inks that I have. Yes, I'm a gigantic dork, it's true. All of my journals have that because that's important to me. But if that's not important to you, unless you're like me and a giant dork, then go ahead and put whatever you want to in your journal. It could be a dream page. It could be a water tracker. Maybe you need to drink a certain amount of water a day. It could be anything that is important to you. Now, I'm going to show you how I lay out my bullet journals. You do not have to follow this way. There are a couple of different methods I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you the simple method, the most simplistic way to do it, and this is the one that Ryder Carroll actually created, okay? So I'm going to start with this little dude because he was the first bullet journal that I did, and then I realized quickly that this is too small of a form for me. I couldn't write as much as I wanted to. So let me open this guy up. You'll notice that on the first page, I have a key, a table of contents as to what is in this journal. So on the next page, I actually have a key as to what the different symbols mean. All right. Now, in later bullet journals, I don't do this as much, but this was my first one, so I really wanted to include that. And I might start including it again in my other bullet journals. I'm going to set up one for all of you today, and we'll walk through how to do that. But this is the key that shows what the different symbols mean. The next page is a future log. So this has all of the next months that you may need. Then you can go into a daily log or a monthly log. So this is a simple way to lay it out. It's got all of the different dates on the side and then the tasks for March there. Then you go into the daily logs. These are the individual things that you need to do every single day. All right, that is the simple way to do it. I got complicated when it came to later ones. In the newest one that I'm working with, I actually have the contents page. So, ta-da. But then I went and I laid everything out in a monthly format. And I decorated with stickers because, again, I love stickers. This was an easy way for me to see things, much easier than the linear method. So I decided to continue to do this. After my months, I started doing daily logs. So, daily logs, okay? So you can do this any way you want to. I'm going to show you how I usually lay out my bullet journals so that you can also follow along if you want to. Again, you're going to need a journal in order to do this. So I recommend going to, I happened to stop by Michael's, and guess what I found for $6? A journal. And it's a dotted one too, bonus for me. Now the first thing that I do is when I open a fresh journal, one, I smell it because I'm weird, and it smells usually really good because it's paper. And two, I count the number of squares in the page. So there's 28 squares across and 38 squares down. I made a little note for myself so that I could remember. This makes it easier for me when I'm laying something out because I can then go, oh, if I want it to be half of the page, that's 14 squares. Pretty easy to figure out. All right. So the first page, and it's usually the one that you first turn to, is always going to be your table of contents. And this makes it easier for you later on when you are doing things. So I usually recommend either doing a permanent type of marker that's really thin or doing like a ballpoint marker or pen or something like that, because it's easier to write with this sort of thing when you're just doing a table of contents. And you're not going to then slide your hand all across it. Never a good thing. I use a ruler because I like straight edges. Again, dork. All right, so I'm just gonna write contents up at the top, and I'm just gonna do a straight line across to make it easier for myself. Ta-da, does not have to be super pretty. You can make it super pretty if you so desire. Now, my table of contents, I usually like to put on the left-hand side. I like to have some sort of idea as to what it is. I like to have the page number, and then I'm actually going to make the right-hand column something that I need to know, like the different types of bullets that you can have. And when Ryder Carroll was making his, he actually had specific bullets for certain things. So like a dot was a task, a circle was an event, and a little dash was a note, okay? If it's important, you put a little star next to it. If it's completed, you put an X through it, okay? And that makes it a little bit easier to keep track of things that you have done or haven't done. Or, you know, is it a note? Is it a task? Is it an event that I need to pay attention to? Stuff like that. So I'm just going to divide my sheet however I want to, because at this point in time, it really doesn't matter what I need. I just need it to have lines. All right. Okay. Ta-da, super easy. Now, since I'm going to be using the Ryder Carroll method, I'm going to draw those in here. So I'm going to do a little dot is a task. So this is my key. A circle is an event. A dash is a note. Star is important. And an X is completed. Cool. All right. So, ta-da! Now, important, if your pages aren't numbered, feel free to number them. If you don't want to worry about numbered pages, don't worry about numbered pages. I like to do numbered pages so that I can flip to the page in particular that I need. So I'm going to go through for the first page and I'm going to label it 1 and 2, just way down in the corner, little 1. All right, and this helps me because then I can go in and I can say that contents, pages 1 through 2 is a certain thing, okay? So in this case, let's see. Oh, what did I label that before? And feel free and go back and figure out if you want to do things the same or different. Subject. Oh, so this is subject. This is page number. And if you mess up, you mess up. Who cares? It's your journal. It's you. It's however you want to use it. All right, so subject. We're going to start this journal in a, let's find a month in the future. This one goes all the way through December, so maybe I'll start January with this journal. So subject would be January monthly calendar. So let's do January month, and that's page 1-2. Cool. Ta-da, just that easy. Okay, and see how I messed up? And I truly don't care. I'm showing it to you. I don't care. Doesn't matter because this is your journal. This is how you're going to use it. All right. Now, I like the monthly setup where it looks like a calendar. It makes it easier for me. If you don't like that and you want to do a simple number down the side, go right ahead. If you want to do monthly tasks, go right ahead. If you want to do a water tracker, go right ahead. Again, you can make this as personalized as you want to. There are some journals out there that already have certain things on certain pages. If you find one and you like it, use it. If you don't, then don't use it. This is the wonderful thing about a bullet journal. All right, so I am going to create a monthly layout, and I'm going to actually look at one that I've done previously because it makes it easier for me. All right, so this one, I had 1, 2, 3, 4 squares up at the top that I left blank, okay? That means that my June could then be up at the top and nice and pretty, okay? So I'm gonna do the same over here. I'm gonna do 1, 2, 3, 4, left blank. And I'm going to do, just go across and across again. Ta-da! Oh, so complicated, I know. All right, now this one, I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 squares per column, okay? If I remember correctly, this had the same number, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, had the same number across. So I'm going to use the same. So we're going to do 8 squares for each column. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then I make a little mark so that I know where to go. And then I just continue counting so that it's easier for myself. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, as always, it goes Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday's the middle one, and it's a little weird. So you're just gonna have to get used to it. You can always do a different setup if you want to. I've just gotten used to it. So that's 4 on one side. 1, 2, 3, 4 on the other. 6, 7, 8. 4, 5, 6, 7. Oops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then the last one should be 8. 1, 2. Yep. Perfect. Then I draw the line across. Now, I don't go all the way up to the top because I've already put that line up at 4 so that I can separate my June or July or January, whatever I want it to be. So I just draw from that line down. And this is why the ruler is very helpful to you. It makes it much easier to draw on the page. And this is also why I do the dotted, because it makes it easier for me to customize however I want to. That is always troublesome, but that's okay. And last column. All right, there we go. Columns all the way down. Now, this had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 for each square. So let's see if the same can apply. I have 38 going down. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, right? 4. 7 plus 7 is 14, plus 7 is 21, plus 7 is 28, plus 7 is 35, plus 4 is 39. Ooh, we're close. We're very close. It doesn't matter. I will still do what I want to. So instead of 7, I should probably do 6. Let's count it out. So I should be able to fit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 all the way down. So if I do 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 5, 6, 7, 6. The last one's a little bit short, but that's okay. All right, so I'm going to do 7 across and use the ruler to get a nice straight line. 1. And I like to go across the entire page before I start again on the next row. Personally, it just makes it easier. But again, you can do it any way you would like to. That is the nice thing about the bullet journal. All right. Ta-da! And that is a nice month layout. So now you can customize this any way you want to. I usually look at a calendar to determine where January starts. So we would figure out if it starts on a Monday, a Tuesday, a Wednesday. I always start my week on a Sunday because that's how it's easiest for me, but you can always start it on a Monday if you'd like to. You can use this as some form of weekly planner. You could use it any way you want to, and that is the nice thing. All right, so now that I've done the 1 month, I would usually go through and do a few more, but I'm not gonna force you to sit here and watch me do that. Usually takes a little bit of time, but that's fine. So I'm going to do, let's say about so that would be February, March, April, May, and June. All right. Usually a bullet journal or any sort of journal has some form of bookmark, which is quite lovely. So in this case, I'm going to use this to mark the last page for that. So January, February, March, April, May. This is June. Okay. So this page would be the start of my January monthly or daily tasks. Okay, so then I would always label the top January daily tasks. Ta-da. And then you go through and you can, if you want to, lay it out by day. I usually end up doing something like, let me skip to it. May 20th, this is what I needed to know, etc. I also like to put little tabs up at the top so that it's easier for me to find things, or use washi tape on the edge of the paper. So I did washi tape on the edge of my ink pages because that was easier for me to find it. On the pages with my daily schedules or daily notes, I actually did a little May tab. Feel free and do that if you want to. Now, the washi tape can be used as decoration. So I'm actually going to put a little bit across the top of the daily tasks just so that you can see how this works. Washi tape is a paper tape, so it's really easy to tear, which is kind of nice. It is also really easy to cut, but usually it's pretty thin, as in like you can see through it thin. Now I'm just gonna cut this a little bit because the end was not so sticky. Okay. I'm just going to throw this across the top of my page because I think it will look pretty. And once again, I am a dork. Oops. Looks like it decided to tear. The nice thing about washi tape is it tears really easily. The bad thing about washi tape is it tears really easily. So keep that in mind. All right, so I just decorated that because I wanted to. If you don't want to decorate your bullet journal, you don't have to. But I think that makes it look a little bit prettier. It makes it look happier, at least for me, since I find writing down daily tasks kind of boring. But for me, it makes me smile when it's got some sort of stickers or washi tape or something on it. And that is how you set up a bullet journal. It's just that easy. It can be any way you want it to. So I recommend experimenting. Try one way, like I did. If you don't like it, try a different way. Try as many ways as you need to. And feel free to switch it up in the book itself. The only reason I didn't was because I found the book size to be too small for me. This one, I would have done the same thing. I would have kept using this, but for some reason, the pages kept falling out. The stitching wasn't very good on this journal, so I had to give it up because of that. But I would have still kept using it. This one is now my permanent bullet journal. So if you ever see me wandering around with this, now you know what it is. It's my bullet journal. And now you can make one of your own. So I wish you all happy bullet journaling. If you have any questions, feel free and ask me. I am more than happy to answer questions. However, I am not an expert at bullet journaling. I am just a novice, pretty much like you. I just happened to like it and thought it was just a really cool idea. So I thought I would share it with everyone. All right, I want you all to have a great day, and please let me know if you have any questions or if you want to show off your bullet journals. I would love to see them. All right, bye guys.